everybody, the Lunacy Podcast, brought to you by Roughneck Scars and Golden Gold Press. My name is Tony. I'm here with Dave and David. Dave Stevens, David Sterling. I'm Tony Pervenanzi. We are coming to you today from BlackStack Brewing here in St. Paul, Minnesota. Sterling, is there something you want to say before we start getting into it?
We are in fucking second place.
We are in fucking second place.
Technically, as we record this, we are. Things could change in the next, I think, about 3 or 4 hours, but let's enjoy it while we can.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the longest we've been in a really high place.
As we sit here after week 21 going into week 22.
It's not like it's a fluke at the beginning of the season where we won a couple games.
Let's tease that, because we have other things to talk about before we talk about today's game. We are, of course, drinking BlackStack's beers.
Yes.
Now, Stevens, what do you have there?
Well, I went with the something I wouldn't normally get. I just decided to throw myself a curveball, and I got the robocalls. And for people who haven't been here, that's what they call their blueberry pink guava Berliner. There's my German reference, John. Thanks. But they describe it as funky, fruity, juicy, and tart. It is definitely tart. It is tart. It's I don't know. I like it. It's just not something I would normally order.
Yeah, you're not really a fruity guy.
I think I've said that on previous podcasts that I usually don't go for the fruity beers.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of glad I went for this one because it's nice. It's refreshing.
I got the BlackStack White, which is kind of just a white. Why are you passing out money?
It's our first dollar.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, after the beer, we'll talk about that. But I had the BlackStack White, which is pretty much a. I think it's just a white beer.
This is either my first time here at BlackStack or my second time. I don't honestly remember. I'm ashamed to say, but I would say that if they had a flagship beer, that should probably be it.
I think it is because it's called BlackStack White,
and I mean for good reason. It's very. We had David and I had one before the match today, and it was delicious. Yeah.
So Sterling, what do you got?
So I got the meat raffle.
Ooh,
it's a New England double IPA.
Wow.
Super juicy. I'd say it's a little bit more on the bitter side than a lot of juicy IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
Really easy drinker. High alcohol, I just noticed.
Yeah, it's a 8.6.
Yeah.
Jiminy Christmas. So Sterling was just giving us money. He gave us each $1. And why is that?
Well, it's because we've officially made money off of Spreaker.
We have. We're officially we're professionals now.
Yes, I'm gonna have to take the amateur status off of my tagline.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have to figure out what we're going to do with the other $9.25.
Well, I think we could.
Did you say $9,000?
Right.
No,
yes.
It's I think it's $9.
$9.
Yeah, $9. Yeah.
And 25 cents. But now let's talk about that. I mean, we're on Spreaker, and this is where we got the money from. So we got the money from the advertising on Spreaker.
Right, people who are interested in maybe starting a podcast of their own, you know.
It took us 3,600 plays to get, well, that's not accurate, probably 3,000 plays to get $12.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so people who are interested in podcasting, I mean, if you don't know someone, if you're starting off from scratch like we are, that's kind of what you're talking about.
We talked about this on the last podcast. Remember the guys that New York Times article where those guys started a podcast, did it for 6 weeks. They said we didn't make any money, so they quit.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of us podcasters, we don't do this for the money.
Right.
We do this because we enjoy doing it. We do it because we enjoy the Loons, of course.
I like beer and I like soccer.
Exactly right.
So why not talk about it?
Yeah, exactly right.
Support local breweries.
Have you spilled any beer on your dollar yet, Dave?
I have not. I should have had it at the game today. Because I would have spilled a lot.
Yeah, you spilled a little beer on me earlier, but that happens.
Dave got the brunt of it, actually.
I'm wearing my quick dry shorts, so
good deal. Well, let's talk about the Portland game last week, guys, because
the Vancouver.
Sorry, not Portland. Portland was today. Yes. Vancouver. I get those two mixed up.
And do you mind if I say happy birthday, Tony?
Sure you can.
Because I was watching the Vancouver match at your house because you were having your birthday party. I don't know if you want to say the number or not, but
I turned 40, just like you did.
Yes.
So I'm the last one of
the three.
The three of us. Well, the last of all the guys from high school.
Oh, right. The class of 97.
Class of 97. I'm like the last guy of our friends from high school to turn 40. Sterling's not even there yet. He's got... How many more years you got, Sterling?
I think he's like 32.
Got another year.
Another year?
Turn 39 in a few weeks.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, so I mean, should we talk about our expectations going into that game? It was
my God.
At Allianz Field against, at the time, Vancouver was dead last in the Western Conference.
And let me preface this by saying, by the time the game rolled around, I was drunk because we had been drinking since 3:00. So I didn't watch much of the game at all.
I watched most of it because mostly all of it.
Well,
but
Chris is watching.
I think I think I predicted about 8-1 Minnesota. No, it wasn't that big, but I certainly had predicted a win. I think we all did in that one. But
unfortunately, I couldn't watch because I had guests still there who were
right.
And you left. Certainly, you left before.
I had made a comment. I think I texted you, Sterling, that I am watching the game. I missed the first 5 minutes, and you quickly came back with, "Oh, you missed the best part."
Oh,
so,
yeah. I mean, it was lively, and then
how did it open? How did it open for somebody like myself who didn't actually technically see it?
You know, we had a strong lineup as you expect. Molino had a knock, so he didn't play. Miggy got the start. Right away, Angelo had a chance, I think, within the first... I don't have the time written down. I think it was within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And then Finley had a quick follow-up on the block, and he missed, of course. Metnier was doing a really good job of working the right side throughout the first probably 10 minutes. And it just slowly grinded down. I mean, I really feel like by maybe minute 20, Vancouver was playing for a trouble.
They were playing. They were just parking it, right?
Yeah. They had no interest in doing anything. And there were, obviously everyone has complaints about that style of play, but they played tactics exactly how you should play. A team that's better than you on the road.
It turns into a really boring game at that point.
I mean, it did. It wasn't very fun to watch.
If you look at it of 90 minutes of soccer, I think that's fair to call it boring. I mean, there was moments, specifically for Minnesota United, that maybe they had a few chances. They had certainly more chances created than Vancouver did in that match. And this is one of those games, I don't know if we want to touch on it now, but Minnesota owned the possession on that. It was 56-44 overall. So it's one of those games where, we talked about it many, many times, was that meaningful possession, and what did they do with that possession? In this case, they didn't do anything. They managed to hold on to a draw at home, but was that good enough?
You're going to have high possession when a team is parking the bus on you because they're just going to sit there and wait.
Yeah.
My problem with when we went into this game was the fact that this should have been a win.
Yeah, that's how I want to look at it. Do we want to sit here and credit Vancouver for doing a stout job defensively, or do we, after a game like this, that's when you see everybody start complaining about how they should have done better and how they didn't come out of there with a win?
Yeah, I think you have to say. I mean, for me, watching Jose Mourinho at Chelsea do a park the bus a lot. I mean, Chelsea did a lot of parking the bus on their other managers too. I want to credit Vancouver because they did the tactics exactly how they should have. Now, I feel like we failed at even trying to address those tactics.
No.
We had a lot of play down the left side where, Gasper's a fantastic left back. I don't think he's very good in the attack. I think his crosses are poor. He had a couple even today that I wanted to say the same thing. He's just not a very good attacker. Him and Miggy don't seem to play very well together, in my opinion. Miggy's not even on a strong side when he's on the left. I just felt like we went down the left a lot. And earlier this week, I had pulled out and this is on Twitter, I pulled out the crosses by Metnier on the right.
Oh, and this was the game where there was many crosses overall. I think there like 27 crosses,
and that's, as you guys can see,
and that's just Metnier.
Yeah,
that's just Metnier.
Yeah,
who was responsible for, it looks like, basically half of them at least.
Yeah. And these are, like I said, they're on Twitter. I'll post them on Instagram too. But we did too much on the flanks, and I get that's what Heath wants to do, but when you're parking a bus, you've got 7-8 guys that are available in the box to clear out the wall.
Yep.
And
Crosses are already low percentage, so you have that many defenders going against your crosses. It's not what you want to do. You want to find a way to break down the middle of the park, and we couldn't do that.
And we had some Twitters back and forth about Metnar and what's going on with them, and of course the deal is this: A, the team parked the bus against them. Crossing doesn't work against parking the bus. B, he spent how many weeks did he spend in Africa during that?
I mean, it was 7 weeks?
Yeah.
8 weeks, something like that.
So I mean, it takes a little bit for him to come back into the fold and kind of get your feet set again.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's lost a little bit of gas too.
I don't know that you put it on Metnier necessarily. I mean, is that what they're telling him to do? I mean, we saw it today, and we'll get to it later. But today there was clearly opportunities where, like those, when Metnier took his crosses, it was ill-timed. He had space. I'm talking about today's match, which we'll get in. But I just question whether, is it a function of him being told to take a cross early?
This was something that, and as I mentioned, looking at that graphic again.
Are they? Yeah, where are they?
Half of them are above the 18.
Yeah.
And you made a point today, David, where you think if he's going to cross, which a cross can lead to scoring opportunities. That's what you're looking for. However, is he just crossing too early?
Exactly. And the one successful cross he had against Vancouver came about, what is the penalty spot? 12 yards? Is that right? And it came inside. It came between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. So that's exactly where you want to cross, and that's the one that was successful.
You can do that. You can cross all you want against the bus, but like you said, David, I mean, there's so many guys in the box.
Right.
It's
just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
It's like chipping away at a brick wall with a little ball peen hammer.
And to be perfectly honest, to kind of tease what we're going to talk about after the break. Or maybe before the break, we need a creative midfielder to break down that middle of the park. I think Darwin can do that to an extent.
Yes.
But he needs help.
He does.
And so we'll be talking about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, just kind of, it was a pretty boring game all around.
Yeah. I mean, a couple opportunities.
Some opportunities.
Like today, Toy had one, Abar had one that he missed as well. One thing we should mention, Darwin Quintero in the 67th minute against Vancouver had a yellow card and therefore was out today due to yellow card accumulation.
Yep. So. And I would like to point out, in my notes, I mentioned around the 18th minute, Finley and Miguel switched sides.
Oh.
And so all of a sudden, Miggy was on the right side where he's supposed to be. That's a strong side. The game completely changed. I mean, you could tell that Miggy was on the side that he favors and that he was playing better. And this is the thing. We have too many right wingers. We have too many. And I don't know why Adrian Heath feels he needs to play Ethan Finley. I don't know if it's inner power struggle that Ethan's a local boy, get him on the field.
From Duluth.
If it's because Ethan is paid like $150,000 more a year than Miggy is, so they want the money on the field. I have no idea. But the reality is, Miggy needs to be on the right, and if he's not, he's basically a failure.
He's
worthless.
He's worthless.
Today's game.
Yeah, today's game. Yeah, exactly.
And it's reality. The game changed. Miggy was able to cut in on to the left, and he got into the midfield, and the dynamic of the play just seemed to get mixed up a little bit more, and that's what you need. And when you're against the bus, you need